How to know if you're farming the right area as a wholesaler? Well, there are some key things to look at as a wholesaler. Hit the subscribe button to get wonderful content just like this. The number one thing you can do is to see if that town or city has permits being filed in that year, or has there been an uptick in permits in that year. And if you see that for single family homes or for new development happening in that city or town, then you're in the right spot. When you compare that to last year's permits, you can see if there has been an uptick. Now, most times the Department of Buildings doesn't have this information, but they don't give out this information. But if you go to them and ask, in more cases than not, they'll give you the information. And also, there are articles online that you can look at that will give you different estimates of what permits were filed in the current year compared to last year. Another thing to look at is to see if the city or town that has any new infrastructure projects, like any new bridges, any new roads, or anything of that nature, because you know that the government now believes in that particular area. Therefore, more people will be more happy to live in that neighborhood if there's more things happening in that neighborhood. Another thing to look at is the population growth. If the population is growing at a rapid pace, then it's something to consider to farm in, because you know that more people are going to live in that neighborhood as renters. More people are going to be looking to buy. More people are going to need space for their families once that happens. So if you see the population increase, then it's a good area to invest into, because now you know an investor is going to see those same numbers and decide to make an investment based on that. Now, there's something where you want steady growth increase versus what they call boom towns. A boom town is where you had, let's say you get a 3 to 4% growth rate, then out of nowhere you get like a 20% growth rate, which is what's happening in Texas. Now, you can do really good flips in those type of neighborhoods, but it may not be something that's good for the long term. So that's something you got to consider when you're presenting these deals to these cash buyers as a wholesaler. Another thing to look at is the taxes in that particular state. Are there capital gains tax, federal and state? And if not, you can consider farming in those neighborhoods, because that means that there's more profit for the investor. There are some things you can look at to see if the area you're in is a good area to wholesale in. On that note, peace.